Hey guys, Jim here. Just wanted to talk about something that is definitely a big debate online in the bushcrafting outdoor community. Just discussing which one is better or a more viable tool, a large chopper or a hatchet. Which one can I use? Is this certain thing better than another thing? I feel like people have some really significant opinions on this, either one way or another, and really in my opinion, both are very viable tools in the woods. Where I live here in northeast Pennsylvania, we have a lot of hardwoods. We also have some softwoods, birch and hemlock, pine, but a lot of trees like hickory, maple, different types of oak. So and in an area where something like a very thin machete may not do as much work as you want it to. However, if you do get yourself a large knife with a thicker blade that has some weight to it, I think they can do a lot of work for you. So I grabbed two of my favorite tools here to use on just like a day hike or even on an overnighter, and kind of compare those two tools and in terms of what kind of performance they can do here in northeast PA. So I've got my outdoor axe here, so quick specs on that. 2-inch cutting edge, overall length of about 14.5 inches, comes in just about at 1 pound, has a overstrike collar on it, handle's relatively thin on this one, still got a good wedge profile, so you can do a lot of work with that. Next one I got here is my Bark River JX5 Vengeful 1 knife I recently picked up. Now this one's about a 9-inch blade, overall length of about 15 inches, has a convex edge, comes in at 1.5 pounds, so definitely a little bit heavier, roughly 1/4 inch thick. Micarta handles, you can choke back on that, it's got a good palm swell, and you can do a lot of work with this knife. So I just wanted to go over some tasks that I would typically use these knives for, and just show some footage of me using the different tools, and at the end kind of go over our final thoughts here about is there one that's better than the other, and are these tools viable for somewhere where you live, where you may have a similar environment to me. Hey guys, so I feel like the results kind of speak for themselves. Both tools are very viable. When you're talking about making a small campfire, doing some basic camp chores, going on a day hike, maybe an overnighter, you just need a small fire. Either of these tools are going to be very good for you. If you're an ultralight hiker, Outdoor Axe is really nice. It's got a thicker bit on it. It can split wood very easily. Sitting at 14 inches, it's a nice size. This JX5, about 15 inches long. I feel like that's a good sweet spot for a large chopper that's not overly large, and still a good ultralight option as well. When I compare the two, the Outdoor Axe was able to chop through about 3-inch maple. Now if I'm in the woods and I'm using a hatchet, I'm not going to be trying to split or buck up anything larger than about 3-4 inches, just because it doesn't make sense. If I'm going to do a larger fire with larger wood, I'm going to bring a larger axe, or I'm going to bring a bigger saw. One of the limitations of this, definitely the 2-inch cutting edge. It was kind of small. Still able to get feather sticks with it. They're fairly decent feathers for coming from a hatchet, but definitely easier with the large knife. They'll still take a fire steel for sure, but where am I going to do that on this? I guess I would have to file the back edge here, or use this 2-inch cutting edge and sacrifice it for my fire steel if I'm trying to do like a one-tool option. Now with the knife, I feel like I was definitely able to get some better feather sticks here, with this for sure, a lot finer. If I spent another 5 minutes, I could fill my hat with feather sticks, or with wood shavings, just because it's a lot simpler. If you choke up on this tool, you're able to get a good chopping action. I was able to chop up same piece of maple, same thickness. Wasn't challenging really, but I do feel like it was a little bit easier using the hatchet, so I will give a slight advantage to that, but really no different that I would take that over a knife. I feel like if you're talking about a hatchet under 15 inches with a head weight under 1.5 pounds, I would definitely prefer to bring a large knife with me. I feel like it's able to do just as much, packs down really thin, and I don't have to worry about the handle breaking. If I break this handle, it's going to be hard to make one in the woods, and why the hell would I want to do that on a day trip? I guess I would just come home and figure it out later. But definitely think that either tool is a viable option for you. So if you're thinking about picking up a large knife, large chopper, and you live in an area with a lot of hardwoods, it's still going to do really great for you. Some large knives that I like, the BK, I think it's the BK9. It's a decent knife. Baristalica Scrama is one of my favorites, and this JX5 is the best large chopper that I've found so far. We'll definitely have to do a full review on that in the future, but in terms of everything else, I feel like they're pretty comparable. Now if you're talking about the slap chop method, where you're lining up the wood like this and slamming it down to split it up, I feel like it was a little bit easier with this hatchet than it was with a large knife. But then again, you can also baton with a large knife, so kind of balances out. But yeah, so just a quick little overview of large knife versus small hatchet. I would go for either one if I were you. So thanks for watching.